been southbound, I've been hellbound, riding on the midnight train. Going too fast now, think I ought to slow down, standing in the pouring rain.
What's going on, guys? Tristan and Tony here with the One Hell of a Life Outdoor podcast. Dad, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about this awesome guest we got on today?
You guys, first of all, I am fired up. All right. I am fired up because not only do we have an American badass on here, but a good friend of ours and a leader of the Army of God, Mr. Mike Dragich. Mike, let's go. Let's go, Mike.
What's going on, guys? That was completely unnecessary, but it was pretty cool. I'm not going to lie. It's awkward, but it's pretty cool. So I appreciate you guys.
Man.
Absolutely, man.
Man, we're so fired up about having you on today, man. Let me just tell you about what I'm getting ready to unpack here. All right. Just so you know what you're in for in this podcast, because this is going to be one of our best ones, I can promise you. And that is, first of all, Mike is not only an incredibly outspoken warrior for God's Army, but a Marine veteran. Thank you for your service, Mike.
Appreciate that, guys.
Yep. Mike owns and created Project Save Your Outdoors. We're going to talk more about that later. He's a professional MMA fighter. He hunts ducks, deer, turkey, pigs, gators, and it is lately, this guy was videoed pulling almost an 11-foot gator out of lily pads in the Florida marsh with his hands. And so we're going to talk about that stuff too. Mike, let's go.
Yeah, man. So were you talking about the one that I pulled out with my hands? He was only 9 foot.
Oh,
the one that I wrangled. Yeah, the one that I wrangled on Instagram, he was a little over 11 foot. But
Good Lord.
dude, we got one that was just under 8 foot, right?
Yeah.
And there was 4 of us, and we were acting like a bunch of little kids that were celebrating birthday party or something. I mean, we sounded like 10-year-olds.
It was mind blowing.
And I watched as I showed this to Tanya's mom. I go, "Hey, you want to see who we're having on the podcast?" She goes, "What?" And I showed her that, and she goes, "Oh my gosh."
I remember that. Actually, that was probably 2 years ago that you guys caught that gator?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep.
Mario was with you guys.
Yep.
I remember I had tags that same season, and I had spent multiple nights in a row out scouting for gators and sitting there all throughout the night. And you guys text me that photo, and I'm like, mother. Like, I remember that night like it was yesterday. I was pretty bummed, man. I was encouraged and bummed at the same time. I was like, I've been out here for 3 freaking days, and these guys just got a monster. So
don't we all go through? You bring up such a great point. Don't we all go through that little bit of jealousy? You know what I mean? I mean, if you're not a competitive person, you're not going to know what I'm talking about. And it just is. It's not. I guess jealousy is not the right word, but you're just like, dude,
competitive, healthy competition.
Yeah.
It's necessary. It's necessary. And that's what's so good about the outdoor community.
Well, and we all know too, when you go through an experience like that, we know what it feels like, especially if you're sharing it with others and stuff like that. So when you hear somebody have a story like that, you're just like, man, it's the FOMO. Worst case of FOMO ever.
It'll happen in a deer stand too. You guys go out to like a deer camp or something, and you're sitting there and you're in the group text, and all of a sudden you hear it ding or you feel it ding.
Mm-hmm.
And you look at it, man, and there's a picture, and you're like, son of a gun. But you're so happy at the same time. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
One of my favorite things, like in the deer hunting group chat, is like, if you're, let's say you got like 3 or 4 guys and you're all hunting the same property or whatever, and it's like an hour before dark and you get a ding, and I get so excited to check my phone because I'm like, dude, somebody just shot one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Every time. Well, we went through that, we was up there in Illinois this year, and Mario sent us a message, and I'm up there, and I feel in my phone, and I had deer in on me, and I feel boom, boom, boom. Boom, 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 and then boom, 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 boom. These guys are all, holy crap, oh my god, and everything. And he's like, dude, I shot a buck. And, it was funny. And we went on the longest, most incredible blood trail of one of my top ones in my life, no doubt. And gave everything.
How far do you think you went?
Over 4 to 5 miles.
Oh man.
Yeah, and over a 2-day period. And we gave this deer plenty of time to die. I mean, plenty of time. But it's just those deer out there in Illinois and those foothills. I mean, I'm talking like 60-degree hills. I mean, they go up and down some of the most incredible terrain, like it's walking down the road for us.
The thing that was crazy about this deer too is like it was bleeding so good and so consistently. It was so easy to track that it was like every time we'd be like, no way it's making up out of this, valley. And sure enough, it would. And it even got to the point where we reached out to somebody with a dog.
Yep.
And he got talking to you and Mario, and he was saying that I think he one lunged it and hit the shoulder or something and only got penetration on one lung. And he said that he's seen deer live for a month, and he gave a 5% chance of finding that deer even with a dog.
Yeah. It was nuts. And then me and Tristan went back the next day, and I said, dude, I just can't go home yet. I got to give this thing one more. I mean, after we gave it all day, I got to give it one more shot, So we waited all night long, got super cold that night. We went back, and Tristan and I started walking down this old logging road. And I bet we walked down this logging road for, 300-400 yards. Mm-hmm. And just walked, and it's just, I mean, this is 4 miles into the blood trail, Mike, and it's going drip, 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 drip. I mean, every 6 inches.
Yeah, how much blood does this thing have?
Dude, and that's what I'm thinking at this point. I'm just like, dude, if we just keep at this thing and don't push it, and it wasn't like we were, I'm an experienced hunter, if I find a bed and then I find another bed shortly after that, I know that deer is hurting. Anytime you find a bed, or if you see a deer, you jump it out, you back out. And these deer are resilient, and sometimes you think, okay, I'm going to give it, I think I hit it in the guts. I'm going to give it, 12 hours or minimum, if not 24 hours, which I've done several times. And you go and you find a bed and you're like, dude, that looks like fresh blood. Well, you're backing out, right? I mean, so this is what we're going, this deer took forever to get to its first bed, which was an alarming sign to me at first. But then I'm going, dude, he's just a Illinois big. I mean, it might be way bigger than Mario thought. And because he doesn't know how to size up the deer out there. I mean, it's hard for anybody, honestly. What did it end up weighing? Probably 240. Yeah, it probably. Well, we never found it.
Yeah.
Oh,
never found it. So the next day, me and Tristan went back, and after that long down the old logging road, we found a place where it bed down, and it was all dry blood. Then we found some dry blood with a little bit of wet blood in it. Then here's a fresh one, and then we found one full blown fresh blood, and I'm talking about a pool the big around as a basketball. And there's 5 beds all in this thicket, and then fresh dirt earth tracks coming out. And I'm like, that dude's not going to die. Dude, he's not going to die. And we just jumped him again.
Yep.
The next day, which was crazy. So anyway, didn't mean to get off on that tangent. So
no, I love it, dude. I love it. I love hearing it. I know you've killed some big boys up there, and it's all on public land too, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, a lot of it has been. Yeah. I've shot some on private. But it's tough. It's competitive on private. I mean, it just is, especially when you have people hunting around you that, they're hunting there so much that it's Illinois during the rut, dude. And everybody, I don't know if you can find an acre of woods that isn't part of somebody's hunting farm in the state of Illinois anymore. I mean, it's just, it's that serious, and so it makes it even super, it took me 7 years. If you can imagine this, it took me 7 years to figure out how big bucks traveled on a 75-acre piece of property, because I didn't have the trail cameras and all the stuff, the technology I have now. I got a buddy of mine that's got trail cameras, dude, that it is using AI to track its movements, and he's got cameras all over his property, and he's able to create hot zones, and we're going to have him on here. We got a nickname for him. His name's Dr. Buck, and he's a doctor. and that's his new nickname. But
don't you guys follow? You guys are big into, isn't it Dr. Duck?
yeah, Dennis and
Is it the
Billy?
same guy that has Dr. Buck?
No.
That's what the play on it. We're joking because this guy that we know he's an actual doctor, like medical doctor, and he's a huge deer hunter. So that's where it kind of came from.
Yeah, and now he's
very cool.
putting all this technology into property that he waited all his life really to purchase, and he's been developing it and telling he's basically it's a model example of how you want to manage a piece of property for whitetail deer hunting, and it's in Iowa, the land of the giants, right? So anyway.
I met a guy this weekend who does the same thing up in Maryland. Him and his buddy that live down the road. They've got a couple hundred acres, but I'm pretty sure he told me he has like 100 feeders and 100 stands on his property.
Wow.
And he just knows every piece of it. And I said, doesn't it discredit certain areas when you have so many areas that close together? And he says, well, not when you have so many cameras that you can track their patterns.
Yeah.
So this guy like has security footage on his cell phone. He pulled up. He's like, I know exactly where they're moving, and you can actually pay attention to how they're moving throughout the season. And I guess once you watch them for so long, you learn different things, and it becomes pretty accurate on where they're at and where they're going to be.
Yeah, it's amazing. This technology is crazy when it comes to all this. But I'm so rude that we just see, guys. This is how great this podcast is going to be because we've already rolled off a bunch of incredible conversation. But check this out, Mike. Will you please go ahead and tell everybody a little bit more about yourself, personally and professionally? Tell everybody who Mike Dragich is.
Well, first and foremost, I'm a husband and a father. I'm married, been married happily for 13 years. I've got 4 amazing children, 9, 8. What is he? No, I don't even know at this point. He's, let's see, 9, 6, 4, and 2. Boy, girl, boy. And they're my top priority in life, obviously. Marine Corps veteran, a small business owner, and now I'm pushing all things to my new organization called Project Savior Outdoors. We're putting all of our energy into that. I'm trying to grow that organization, man, because it points to the Lord, and it will be, pointing my kids into the same mission field that I.
As waterfowlers, we experience all kinds of extreme weather conditions. Stay bone dry and warm with Frog Togs hunting gear. You can check them out at frogtogs.com or at Frog Togs Hunt on Instagram.
I'm in currently, which is the outdoors and pointing men to the Lord. So,
Love that.
Yeah, incredible, man. Incredible. And just to give you guys a little bit of background, where Mike and I's relationship started was with God. So, that's one thing that to me is a little bit full circle about having Mike on tonight, and we've hunted together and, have had some great experiences with that. Just some, 2 guys out there in the marsh, doing our thing, and, had some tough hunts and had some fun hunts, but Mike and I work security together, in the Jacksonville area for a church. Is just my way of wanting to give back a little bit. And that's how I first met Mike. And then we'd see each other at the gym all the time and that kind of thing. And then, of course, men are men, and you're gonna get talking and grunting. And, we're all sitting there after service one day, and Mike's like, bro, you ever been pig hunting? And I'm like, are you a hunter? He goes, man, yeah, I'm a hunter. He's like, dude, yeah, man. And then we just hit it off from there, so it's full circle for me, man. But, first and foremost, let's we always want to put God first, and I thought the very first thing we should talk about is you and your relationship with God, because, dude, you are such a public warrior for God. And I love that. I mean, through your fighting, or whether you're doing gators or just sharing time with your family, your kids, whatever, we need more people like you. And I want you to just kind of talk about your experience and kind of what led you to God, and where, what's your mission there? I mean, it's incredible to me, Mike.
Yeah, well, I mean, I could talk about it, for hours, but long story short, I found myself in a position about 14, 15 years ago where I was shot and bleeding out left for dead, almost lost my life. And luckily the Lord saved me, had a miraculous healing, and entered the Marine Corps healthy, to pursue 4 years in the Marine Corps, get out and continue to do physical things like catch alligators and fist fight in a cage. So how could you not? At that moment, I remember bleeding out, and I remember praying. I had my sister at the time, who I loved more than anything in the world, and I remember saying, God, give me more time, and I promise I will point everything to you. And if you don't give me more time, protect my sister. That's the last thing I remember saying before I passed out and gone unconscious, before being rescued and saved. So,
wow.
I gave my life to the Lord right after that time. And since then, the walk's been tough. I'm a type A person. I love getting dirty. I love trouble. Like actually all of us do here.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yep.
so it hasn't been easy, but
Right.
it's hard for me not to point all things to the Lord, all my blessings to the Lord, and my children, my wife, and even the hardships that I've had, man. Now that I look back on it, all of the hardships that I've had in my life since I was saved have only made my life better now. So at the
Amen.
time I didn't see that they were good, but now looking back on it, it's a complete part of my testimony, my family's testimony. And it's been such a blessing. So that's how I started my walk with the Lord. I don't wish that on anybody, but that's what he had in it for me, man. I think because he knew that's what it took for me to pay attention. So now what I want to do is just point all things to him. And I want to show that Christianity is not soft, guys. Like,
Right.
that to me is why I have the mission that I have.
Mm-hmm.
One, I love veterans, but two, I want to show that Christianity is not soft, that you can be a man, that you can love your family hard, that you can stand up for yourself and believe passionately about the things that you believe in, but also show love and grace. At times that is the most difficult thing for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't do those things. But it's the goal of trying to continue pursuing those as the standard, that helps so much. And that's why I started the organization that I did, to do life with other men and point them to the Lord as I'm pointing myself to the Lord every single day.
Man.
Wow.
That's incredible, Mike. I mean, I've known you all this time, and you just don't always dig into people. I mean, me and you have spent some pretty funny times, and times where we probably wanted to get the hell out of the marsh, because we were just bored as all could be. But you obviously talk about 1,000 things, in all those hours, and shame on me for not knowing this before that. I mean, that's just an incredible story, man. I mean, incredible. And I kind of feel like I can't listen to you talk about that without at least first mentioning, that's what brought me to God. It took me flipping my truck, 4 times and having blood on my brain, and I got miraculously healed within a 45-minute period. I have a CAT scan that shows blood on my brain, and 45 minutes later, I got a CAT scan that shows there's no blood on my brain, and had a doctor tell my wife that I don't believe in God, but I can't explain what happened.
Bro, that is crazy.
Yeah.
That is crazy. I didn't want to get into too much detail because of the time, but I had gotten shot with a 45 hollow point that put a hole directly through my rotator cuff, went towards my chest and lodged behind my shoulder blade.
Wow.
Holy cow.
2 weeks after I left the hospital, I was completely healed. The x-rays or MRIs or whatever shows that tissue was completely recovered. And I joined the Marine Corps 3 months later.
What?
A 2-week
Holy
healing, start
cow.
to finish, 45 hollow point, completely through my rotator cuff. And I ended up doing 20 pull-ups graduating boot camp as the honor graduate at Parris Island in December.
Oh my gosh.
Dude.
Bro, if it's not God, I don't know what is. The doctor said the same thing as you just said.
Yeah.
Yeah, some people just heal quicker than others, man. It's pretty crazy. I'm like, no, stop. Like, don't don't piss me off right now.
Yeah.
Like you cannot get away with saying that, man. It ain't science. It's God. It's a miracle. They happen and you just don't want to admit it. I know it's hard to believe, but it is what it is, man. 2 weeks, there's no explanation here.
Yeah. No, I totally feel you, dude. And you don't know what you don't know as a person, and if you listen to this and you're having a hard time connecting to that, that's fine, but sometimes God has got to shake the ground you walk on to get your attention, depending on, like Mike said, I'm also a type A personality.
I was going to say, for guys like you, for guys like us, man, sometimes that's what it takes.
Yep.
Well, let me tell the listeners, that's not what it takes. You can right now make that decision to just understand what could be a reason that happens and starts pointing you to him and adjust your perspective, but it doesn't have to be.
Right.
God is powerful. He is that powerful.
He is.
And he's worth it, man. He's worth loving and giving your life to.
Yeah, man.
Right now, man. Don't wait.
Yep.
Don't wait. If I could tell my kids, I'm waiting until they're a little older, but I'm going to say, listen, I know you're probably going to be wired just like me. You're going to have high ambitions. You're going to want to get into a little bit of trouble here and there. But, bro, you can do all that. You can do all of that. Just keep God at the center of your attention, man.
Yeah.
And he'll make it, man. You'll make it.
Yeah, and here's the baby step that I want to encourage anybody to accept is my life changed, which has affected everybody stair-stepping down to the guy sitting across the table from me right now and his family and everything else, all because a friend of mine that's not with us anymore asked me to go to church. That's all it took, is that he asked me to go to church, and it changed my entire life, and you don't have to try to take on, you don't have to look at somebody and say, oh my gosh, that seems so overwhelming to go through that experience with God, but fact of the matter is that you're going to have your own entry point in your own way, and you and God will figure that out and take it as slow as you want to, but sometimes it's just a matter of just taking a little leap of faith and taking a step forward.
That's true, man.
Yep.
Amen.
Yep. Man, all right. So that leads us directly into, you recently started this Project Savior Outdoors. Tell us about what you're doing with that, man, because I have been following it, and I know you just got back from visiting the Vortex and Matthew's archery factories, and man, you're doing some cool stuff for veterans and veterans with PTSD and stuff. Talk about that, Mike.
Okay, so Project Savior Outdoors, our mission is connecting with the great outdoors to share the true freedom that comes through Jesus. And we're doing that all to fight against PTSD and veteran suicide. I've had 15 Marines that lost their lives to suicide since 2015, and that's from my unit alone.
Wow.
3rd Combat Engineer Battalion. Yep, 3rd Combat Engineer Battalion in 29 Palms. Since 2015 alone, I don't even know the numbers accurately before that, but since 2015, we've lost 15 Marines to suicide. Okay. So each time this happens, guys, I think to myself, 1, are they going to heaven when they die? And 2, what could we be doing to help? What could we be doing to help? I've got all this energy. I've got this time. Luckily, the Lord's blessed me with a small business that leaves me pretty flexible. What am I doing with my time to help this? And I thought about doing the podcasts and the social media posts and all the things, and I just never thought that anything would be impactful enough to dive into. So one day, man, I just realized I love to hunt, and I thought about deer camp. I thought about any hunt camp and how the fire and the hunt stories bring men together.
Yep.
So I thought, let's use the outdoors to pursue this mission and see how it goes. And started Project Savior Outdoors, and our goal is to use the outdoors to point men to Jesus, man. And we're going to be sponsoring veterans each year, outfitting them with everything they need to archery hunt, fish, teach them about the outdoors. We're also going to be doing a discipleship program, which is going to be a twice a month Bible study, essentially, for men all across the country, as well as starting a Project Savior podcast called 22 Hours to Live. And we're going to host veterans to hear their stories and the crazy things that they've been through and done, and how a relationship with Jesus has freed them and kept them on track in their lives. So, man, we're just so thankful for the opportunity to even be here on this podcast, sharing the word about our mission and the things that have happened in the time that we've had this organization. It's honestly nuts.
It is, man.
It's freaking crazy now that I'm even thinking about talking through this, dude. It's freaking nuts,
bro.
man.
You guys got the pedal to the metal over there, and that's what I'm saying.
We're on freaking. We're redlining over here.
You know what? But Mike, I'm not surprised because that's you, and that's the blessings of God, and that's it's just everything you do, dude, is 100 miles an hour, and I'm not surprised that you're going through the blessings and seeing the results that you are. I'm not surprised at all. I mean, it's easy to say, yeah, wow, from humbleness, but at the same time.
Do y'all watch the UFC?
Yeah.
Nate Diaz, I'm not surprised.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I was just thinking, man. I'm not surprised. Dude, it's so good, and it's only a God thing for sure.
Well, what was it? Who was and I apologize because I'm not so close to watching UFC that I can name off everybody's names, but who's the man that's like the total badass right now, the black guy? And he asked Joe Rogan for the mic, and he talked about experiencing that kind of greatness once in your life.
That's Izzy.
Dude,
Israel Adesanya.
Dude, what an incredible speech. I just saw that on a reel the other day. Wow. I mean, talking about taking the opportunity to change some people.
Hey, while we're on that topic, Mike, I know you've seen this. Bryce Mitchell, I think it was a fight or two ago, his speech after that. Did you see that?
Oh yeah. That boy is wild, man. I love it. I love how open and bold he is.
I know, but man,
he does say some stuff that's kind of off the wall. But man, I love him. I love him, dude.
I know it. Yeah, his Instagram post a bit recently, but his that speech, man. I think he basically said that he's donating like his whole fight purse to whatever he was donating it to, but basically giving the Lord the glory there, and then Dana ended up matching it. For 40,000.
I remember that. Yeah, dude.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Incredible stuff, man. So you talking about this thing going 100 miles an hour for you. So I was trying to push Mike to get on the podcast. He's a buddy, right? And we had a reschedule with somebody, and I'm just like, dude, I can get Dragich on this podcast. He's a buddy and stuff, And I was like, dude, are you available this day? He's like, man, bro, basically he's like, in such a nice way, he's telling me, dude, you have no idea how busy my life is right now. and then, but what was great about it is that he had this trip scheduled to go visit Vortex and Matthews Archery's factory. So, man, talk about that trip and stuff. That had to be really cool. And I know you just started a new relationship with Vortex.
Yes. So first, I need to give some recognition to HHA Sports and HHA USA. So I know you guys are archery hunters. They make the Tetra bow sight.
Oh, okay, cool.
They've got an entire line of archery sights that are top notch, best in the world. Huge company, and the founder, Chris Ham. I started a relationship with him a little while back, and you want to talk about a friendship that has taken fire. This guy, in our second conversation, invited me out in my board of directors for PSO to Wisconsin to be part of his HHA USA Salute to Heroes event.
Wow.
Where he leads an archery organization. It's a nonprofit that uses archery to connect veterans all over.
Wow.
He invited us out, man, and he not only is he built this awesome company of HHA Sports, he's also built this awesome nonprofit organization for veterans called HHA USA. And he invited us out to be part of this event with all hopes to introduce me and help us in all the ways that he possibly can. And man, that is exactly what he did. When we got out there, all thanks to him, and obviously the Lord is using him in a huge way to make these things happen. but he opened the door for us to come out there, be a part of the Beast Mode Archery Challenge. Brian,
so
shout
cool.
out to you. The Beast Mode Archery Challenge is it's freaking awesome. We didn't come prepared this year, but next year we're gonna go crush it. Especially at elevation and with those hills, man, it's another level.
Dude,
So,
I got to talk to you about this because I might have one good run left in me.
Dude, hey, next year I would love to have you guys out. That would be an awesome trip. But yeah, so we met Brian in the Beast Mode Archery Challenge. We did a VIP tour, invite only, to the Vortex Optics factory with 150 other veterans that HHA USA invited and put on that tour for them. And I'm sitting at this table eating my food, and this guy, Mike from Vortex, comes up to me and says, "Hey, are you with Project Save Your Outdoors?" And I'm like, "Yes, sir." So he's like, "Come with me." And I'm like, "Okay, cool." And I look over at Chris, and he's like, "Oh, yeah. Okay, good. I wanted to make sure that happened. All right, you're good." And he walks me back, and I sit down with the vice president of the company, Seamus Terry. And this guy is like an angel sent down to earth, jet black beard, man, freaking just alpha male, but the coolest, nicest dude you will ever meet, man. And I'm sitting down with this guy, and I shared the mission with him. I said, "God, if you put me in front of somebody that makes decision with Vortex Optics, I'm going to use the opportunity to be bold."
Yeah.
And to keep the growth of my mission all pointing to you in mind when I ask for what I'm asking for. And I say, "Hey, this is our mission. This is what we stand for. We would love to partner with nobody else other than Vortex Optics," which is, who I've used for a very, very long time.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, "You got it." Shook my hand and said, "You got us as a partner.
Wow.
We love what you're doing. Let's do this. Let me know what you need." I sent him a long email, of what we needed as an organization and why we needed it. No questions asked, no hesitation. "Sounds great, brother. This is awesome. I'll get you taken care of."
Wow.
So partnership with Vortex Optics, amazing company, man. I've always known that, but now I'm all in. I want to support those guys and that organization as much as I possibly can. So thank you, Chris, for that introduction.
Mike, isn't that so true that it starts at the top with every company? I mean, no wonder they're so successful. I mean, with that gentleman and supporting you guys like that. I mean, that's just it's why they are who they are, man. I mean, so cool.
Yeah, for sure. And there's multiple people that I talked to about him, and that I had a meeting with him, and every single person that I talked to said, "Isn't he something else?" Or,
Wow.
"Isn't he an awesome dude?" Like, everyone that I talked to and mentioned his name has felt the impact of his leadership.
Wow.
And you're right. For an organization like that, there's a reason they're where they're at.
Yeah.
But so
That's
fast
awesome.
forwarding, we keep going. We have an awesome event for HHA. Awesome concert from Chris Cruzy. There were amazing organizations like the A3G initiative with Aaron Ritter. He runs Limitless Outdoors. This guy is an absolute savage, and he's got a heart of gold. He lost his leg in a motorcycle accident. He's a Navy EOD guy. He is a badass.
Yeah, dude. Stop there for a second.
Okay.
A Navy EOD guy, just so everybody understands this listening, in the Navy, we kind of rank them as just under a Navy SEAL. I mean, these guys are badasses. So credit to him, man. I just wanted to point that out.
Yeah. And so he was the first guy overseas with one leg.
Wow.
Holy cow.
So he went back. He deployed again with one leg.
What?
Wow.
Yeah. He's wild, man. He's wild. And like I said, he's got a heart of gold. You guys want somebody on the podcast, man? Check him out. I'll give you his info. But yeah, Aaron Ritter with Limitless Outdoors, super, super cool guy. Love him. And I just met him this weekend. Feels like we've been friends forever. So
That's
anyway,
awesome.
so I had time with him and other organizations. Chris Cruzy did the music. So we were having fun. We were having a blast. And then Monday, Monday, man, we freaking go and we visit the Matthews Archery Factory. And
cool.
Chris
Add
made an
to the
introduction.
bone.
Dude, I can't even tell you some of the stuff we saw. I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about it, but we weren't allowed to have our phones, and I don't want to risk losing the partnership that we now have. But they have some of the craziest stuff going on behind closed doors, and it is, dude, it's unbelievable.
Dude,
it's amazing.
Dude, I've been an archer, and I'm going to do a shout out to Matthews here real quick. I've been an archer since I was 10 years old, and I've shot everything under the moon. And not that I'm anything, I'm definitely not a John Dudley or anybody like that, or a Cam Haynes or
But you've killed some monsters, dude. You've killed some bruisers.
Well, I know, but I will tell you guys, here's what I will tell you, and I'm going to give the credit to somebody else about Matthews Archery. I've been around, my mom was sponsored by Ben Pearson Archery. I've been to the Bear Factory. I've been around archery for a little bit, and my stepdad that's now passed away that got us into it, which you guys have heard me talk about him before. His name is Jerry Dale. This guy hunted with Fred Bear. Okay. So, he calls me one day in his 70s and he says, "Tony, what are you doing?" And this is a man that shoots every day of his entire life. Even when he couldn't walk, he would put a chair out in his front yard so he could sit down and shoot his bow. And he'd call me up and say, "I shot 78 arrows today, and I shot this many bullseyes," and did that till the day he died. And he says to me, he goes, "Tony, if you don't go to the store right now and buy a parallel limb Matthews archery bow, you're doing yourself a disjustice." He goes, "You will shoot everything you used to shoot at 20 yards at 40 yards. And I go, "Really? So do I hear the old man back in technology?" He goes, "These parallel limbs, they have changed the world." He goes, you need to go buy yourself a Matthews bow." And that's exactly what I did. I went and bought Halon 6. Tristan is shooting the Matthews.
Yeah, I got a little testimony about Matthews too.
Yeah. No, but go ahead, Tristan, real quick. Tell them about that.
Yeah, so I got a 2008 Adrenaline DXT, and I bought it off a guy. It was the first bow I ever bought for myself. I had a bear bow that you had bought me, and this guy was getting out of archery and just really wanted to hook up a young person with, a good setup and a case and all that stuff. And I think I bought a case, a bow, arrows, broadheads, all kinds of stuff, $400.
Yeah.
And I've shot that bow since probably 2014 or 15. And I've killed, 7 or 8 deer with it. And just this year I had a cracked limb in it. And I went to researching how I replace a limb on this. And Matthews, actually, any bow they've ever made, if you get in touch with them, you have to pay for it, but they will still make you that part to fix your bow. So,
even if it's discontinued.
and this is a 2008 bow.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Everything except the risers. Everything except the risers.
Yep. So the whole point we're trying to just make here, guys.
And we have no relationship with
we have
Matthews.
zero relationship with Matthews. And to be honest with you, I'd probably be standing here telling you that I'm probably more biased to Ben Pearson Archery because I killed out of the, almost 70 deer that I've killed my bow. Probably majority of them have been with either a Bear or a Ben Pearson Archery bow, and that's just because I got a lot of hand-me-downs from all my mom's sponsorships, but I always was sitting there on the sidelines, and this is the point I wanted to make with this. You can look at Matthews just like I used to and say, "Oh, they just spend the most money marketing, and that's why everybody likes their bow." That's what I hear other archers say. Or you'll hear somebody say that about PSE, or you'll hear somebody say that about any of these. Which one? Hoyt. Exactly. But here's the deal, y'all. Results are results. And all these big manufacturers like this, they do a lot of marketing, but it's because they're selling a lot of bows because they're great bows. And that's the point I wanted to make. And we just shoot them because they're great bows. It's that simple. So it didn't mean to just interrupt, Mike, but I wanted to kind of give them a big shout out to help give you a big shout out about what you guys are doing, hopefully with them.
No. So they're definitely partnering with us, and we've got some things working. It's awesome, man. They are an organization that is of a group of believers as well. I mean, I feel like that's, accurate. I know the owner of the company is a believer. He's actually friends with the pastor of my church, so I can say that with confidence. But Matthew seems like an amazing company, and the fact that they're willing to work with such a small fish right now, it speaks volumes. So it's really, really cool. But yeah, man. Yeah. So I'm trying to think of what else happened this weekend. Made some really good connections. But yeah, Vortex and Matthews, those partnerships were awesome. And then we get home and shout out to 10 Point Crossbows. They're on board as well.
Wow.
Yeah, so we're officially partnered with 10 Point Crossbows.
Wow.
And
What's going to happen to you tomorrow, bro? I mean, are you going to fly to the moon?
I hope NASA sponsor us, bro.
Dude, you are going 100 miles an hour. This is so cool.
Listen, it's all God. I'm telling you,
it is.
I haven't done anything. Well, that's not true. But I haven't done anything towards these specific relationships other than show up and use the opportunities that the Lord has given me to just be bold, man, to just be bold. You will never get a yes if you don't ask.
You are so exactly right.
You know what I mean? You got to be bold. You got to be bold in anything that you're doing, man. You can't be afraid to ask. Just go for it. And when you know that the Lord is backing you and you're doing it to just grow his kingdom and to help veterans and to build the outdoor community, bro, you got to be bold. You got to be confident in that, especially knowing what he's done for you, Tony, and what he's done in my life back in the day. I'm telling you, those things are so powerful, dude, and they make such a lasting impact.
Dude, and what's crazy to me is, and I don't mean to back off on God, but we're just going to keep doing it however we do it. And God is part of this as far as I'm concerned. But, it's so crazy that when you go through some, do you want coffee that doesn't suck? Get the Duck. Dirty Duck coffee is made specifically for the waterfowl enthusiast. Enjoy flavors like Morning Wood, Dark Dynasty, Cinnamon Teal Snickerdoodle, and First Flight to unlock the flavor that you'll enjoy in the blind for years to come. Our friends at Dirty Duck Coffee Company are now offering all Zero Duck 30 followers a 15% discount when you use code ZeroDuck15 on your next order. Something like that. And I know you feel the same way, Mike, because we've talked about this. It's that, dude, I can be brought to my knees right now about how thankful I am for what God has done. But it's such a fuel at the same time. Do you know what I mean? It's such a fuel at the same time to be so confident. Like you said, you have to ask for the yeses. I mean, you have to ask the questions to get the yeses and that kind of thing. It's definitely, there's a fuel that burns inside of you.
Yeah, you want to share the love that he's shown you, man. That's how I feel.
Yep. No doubt, man. So check this out. So obviously you are a big time hunter, man. I mean, we've hunted a few times together, so I know personally how much you love it. You hunt turkeys, gators, pigs, small game ducks, and who knows what else. What is your favorite animal to hunt and why? I mean, recently you just smoked that giant hog and you shot an Osceola and stuff. Man, what's your favorite thing?
Well, what do you think's my favorite?
Pigs.
Tristan, what do you think?
Dude, I don't know, honestly, because the first time I had heard of you when, you and my dad met through church, and then the next thing I know, you guys are duck hunting together. And following you on Instagram, I don't know, it seems like alligators recently are your favorite, but I don't know.
Boom! You nailed it, dude. Winner, chicken dinner. Yeah, dude. I do love smoking pigs for sure. Shout out Grim Reaper Broadheads if you're listening. Sponsor us.
Nice.
But dude, I love Grim Reaper broadheads, and that big boar hog, definitely over 200 pounds, that I smoked like last week. Straight pass through, big boar hog, straight pass through, with their Micro Aids Pro Series fixed blade, dude. Man, that's quite the rush, but my heart is with alligators, bro.
Is that because of us whooping you that night?
Dude, it all started right there. Listen, listen, I'm dead serious, man. I will tell you, I bet you that's exactly what fueled my fire, because
I love it.
Dude, right after that is when I smoked my first alligator ever. That was my first season drawing tags and actually gator hunting. Wow. And since then, I've now caught and or harvested probably over, I don't know, 30 to 50 alligators.
Discovery Channel, if you're listening to this right now, you better get a show on this guy right now.
Oh man, dude. Yeah, so we've got a lot of stuff going. That, man, if it's part of the Lord's plan, he'll make it happen. But I actually went down to the Everglades with some awesome people to film a pilot series for a show that's trying to, get edited and things like that now to get put out to the public to hopefully get purchased. And I can't give any details on it, but if that takes off, man, you better believe I'll be using that platform to point to the Lord as well.
I know you will.
Dude, I have. But yeah, anybody else listening? You guys want to do a TV show? Come on.
No, man, dude, for real. So tell us about this, dude. And here's the thing about you. You're such a mystery to me, even though I know you so well. You post these pictures, and you post this picture of this beautiful Osceola on your back, and that's all you say. And I wouldn't be surprised if you said something about, because of God, you got that turkey. But dude, tell me, can I understand that hunt a little bit? Can you be a buddy and kind of tune me in to what happened to you taking that beautiful bird?
So that bird specifically was actually a hunt that my buddy Russ Sweeney, shout out to him, Sweeney Plumbing and Remodeling, man. This dude, another awesome dude. He's a wild boy as well. Super tough dude. I trained jiu-jitsu with him. He was a fighter as well. He took me on that hunt, and we actually the goal was to call in a bird. Well, that didn't happen. So what we did was we ran the property trying to find some movement. We found these birds down the tree line, I don't know, a couple hundred yards. So we snuck in the tree line. Long story short, I get out on my face, combat crawling with a chicken on a stick and my shotgun in my right hand. And he's laughing and gobbling in this freaking high grass right off the tree line. And I'm just crawling my way towards this bird, acting like I'm freaking just strutting my little chicken on a stick decoy. And he calls this bird somehow from probably it was 100 plus, easy. And this bird sees me, and he starts running full sprint straight towards us. And he stops, and he puffs up his chest, and he starts strutting side to side. And then all of a sudden, my buddy rips a gobble, and he starts sprinting again, and he stops, and he starts strutting. Boom, side to side. My buddy rips another gobble. He does that about 2 more times, and he's about 12 yards in front of my face, dude, as I'm like face down in the mud. Bro, the biggest regret that I've ever had was pulling the trigger on that shotgun and smoking that bird.
What?
I wanted to, oh man, yes. You want to know why? Because I was so close. That could have been my moment to snatch him up with my bare hands.
Oh, dude. So I know what's on the calendar next year.
Bro, if
turkey neck.
Man, if I could do it all over again, I would have waited just a couple more seconds for him to come start humping that decoy.
Mike, look, dude, off camera, you need to hire us to come film you doing that, please.
I'll tell you what, man, you might
actually, we will donate that.
Oh, by the way, I just said humping the decoy. I don't know that he would be humping another Jake or Tom decoy. So
Headbutting.
yeah, fighting. So that might not end well for me.
Spurring.
I gotta imagine you ain't worried about it with the gators, but I don't know if you saw, but I shot my first turkey like 2 weeks ago, and I went to pick it up, and I grabbed its spurs, and it cut my hand. And I gotta think, if you're grabbing one that's running at you, you're probably gonna get tore up a little bit by them spurs.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, but I, also mess with alligators 3 to 4 days a week.
Exactly. So you're just like, turkey, I'm not worried about.
So yeah, dude. But yeah, hey, if you guys are in Florida next, so you guys know I'm now the nuisance alligator trapper for the county.
I didn't know that. I did not know that. That's cool.
That's how I'm getting all my permits. So a lot of times what I'm doing is I'm actually catching these alligators because they're, a nuisance to someone or some area.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I'm going about it. But there's so many cool stories, man, of how that happens and the customer interactions that I have. It's essentially a volunteer position.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I do it because I love it. So,
wow, that's awesome. And
lot of stories there, but I'd love to have you out and we could definitely go on some calls and have a lot of fun, man, and pull these jokers out of the water and things like that.
Oh, dude, that would be absolutely incredible. We'd love that.
Yeah. No, we can make it happen for sure.
Wow, dude. Well, yeah, we're going to make that happen. We are going to make
it
that
happen. Just let me know. Now's the time. It's, it's warming up. So we're getting tons of permits coming through. A lot of times they're smaller alligators. But every once in a while, man, we get those, 7, 8, 9 plus footers and all those big boys that you've seen. I ran down south, messed around in the Everglades with some friends to pull those big boys out of the water. But, man, yeah. Have you guys seen the videos, Tony? I'm sure you have of that 10-8 and that 11-2.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would not recommend that to anybody.
Well, dude, that's so crazy. I was just getting ready to say, let's circle back to this video because we get off track. Dude, all I know is I'm scrolling through my Facebook, and here comes Mike, like the Swamp Thing, out of the water, manhandling this giant gator, dude. I mean, what the hell are you thinking?
Yeah. So are you talking about the one in the lily pads?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I didn't tell people in the post, and like you said, it's a little bit of mystery behind this, was that alligator. I'm going to be honest with you here. Okay.
Yep.
I had recently shot that alligator in the head with a 22.
Aha.
Okay. Now, that doesn't mean it was okay to jump in that water and grab that alligator.
No, it's like when they say, like,
dang sure you're a good shot if you're willing to take that risk.
It's like chasing a freaking wounded bear. I think it's even more dangerous.
Yeah. But I do need to disclose. There's a lot of people that have been thinking that thing was fully alive and fully filled with energy, and that's not the case. So don't jump in the water with a 9-foot alligator, even if it has a 22 round in its brain.
Well, he's sitting here telling you this, but he's also getting ready to tell you that he got one bigger than that doing the same damn thing. So what, dude?
Yeah, so the 10-8 and the 11-2 that I've done were down in the Everglades, and we caught both of those. Those were a year apart from each other. Similar area, but we fished those out with a rod and reel, treble hook, pulled those out of the water. One of them I was able to pull out by myself. One of them we had a group of like 3 of us. The lines were tangled. The lines were breaking. I was with my good buddy Nico Price, UFC fighter, man, one of the most entertaining UFC fighters of all time. Some of the craziest knockouts. Look up UFC fighter Nico Price. He was with me, and this big alligator broke us off, and we're all sitting there extremely pissed off. And next thing you know, Nico's a huge fisherman, and obviously he's got the heart of a dang warrior, man. He casts again. He said, "Man, we ain't over. We ain't done with this." Mm-hmm. He casts this random cast straight in front of him. Boom, snags this alligator. Wow. And we're back on. So we finished that fight, pulled this gator out of the water, and that's when the magic happened. So we were able to wrangle that alligator a little bit. I haven't posted the footage of that gator yet, but it's very similar to the one that's on there. With that 10-8. Pulled him out of the water, wrangled him a little bit, got him tired, put his head up on my thigh, opened up his jaws, showed him some love, and then set him on his way. So those big boys we absolutely released. We caught them, spent some time with them, got some great content, man. Respected the animal and let them go. So that to me is one of my absolute favorite things to do, man. And again, I would not recommend it for anybody.
Wow. Well, man, that's incredible stuff. And somehow you it seems like, recently in, the last year or so, or however long you've been wrangling gators, you started wrangling humans as well with your MMA fighting. So let's get into that a little bit.
No, dude. I mean, all right. So yeah. So check this out. Again, going back to the first time I met this guy, I'm not surprised. And dude, here's the thing. And Mike, and this is what you were talking about earlier about being a man for God. You can go out there and fight and beat somebody's ass and give all the glory to God in the process, and probably your opponent is doing the same thing. I mean, here's the thing. You guys go out there and just whoop each other's ass and a lot of you guys are all friends. And dude, we're going to dive into a little bit in depth about you being a badass fighter, dude. You just are. And in fact is, you just have an image, dude. You have like a movie type of image. It's like when I see your picture, I'm just like, dude, talking about somebody that looks like they're born to be famous. I mean,
no,
and
dude,
you're ripped.
Dude. Listen, bro, I wish I was hosting this podcast so I could put all these awesome compliments and this energy and attention onto you guys. I understand that this is, I'm the guest of the podcast, but trust me, I wish it was the complete opposite, that I could be bragging on you guys and we could spend the time to talk about all the awesome, badass things that you guys both do and the relationship you guys have.
Invite us on. We'll be on there. We'll be on your podcast. Just invite us on.
Dude, and we will 100% do that.
Well, dude, you're easy to talk about, in my opinion, dude. It's so easy.
Well, so are you guys, man. And one thing that I'll definitely be talking about when we have you on our podcast is Tristan's woos.
Yeah. Dude, he can hit a note like nobody else.
Got that Ric Flair.
Dude. Oh, man. I remember there was one video that I saw.
That's a real idea.
It was nothing but woos, man. And it was awesome. Smoking ducks. And it's like, woo, like just constant.
Dude, that goes back to like playing like, freaking rec baseball. Honestly, like that was my patent.
But I have told him, I was like, dude, you need to get that back into our intro video because that is, dude, no, that is a Tristan patented thing for sure.
It is for sure. And you have the perfect woo. Sometimes my voice cracks and it sounds like I'm a female. And dude, you're so consistent with it, bro. I'm almost afraid to woo because it's going to crack on me.
Yeah, I don't know where that came from because it's not even like I was a Ric Flair fan or anything. It just, I don't know. Just that was a celebration.
Complete excitement.
Yeah.
Come from down under, man.
Yeah, that's
the woos come from down under.
From the soul.
So, but Mike, what made you? I know we used to work out and all that stuff you did, and we were like psychotic working out and all those things. And, and shame on us for, I guess, not working out together, but maybe I didn't work out with you because I didn't want to have to try to keep up with you, I guess.
Bro, you were competing, dude. You were probably in better shape than me at that time. I remember you were competing for a contest, dude, and I was like, how old are you? And at the time, I think you were probably like, I don't know, 40 or whatever your age was. But I was like, you got a solid 10 plus years on me. And I was like, respect, dude, because you were a brick, what house, man.
Yeah, I mean, there was a time when Tony Vogel was looking pretty good. I gotta say that, And,
dude, I think, Mike, I think it's the most bullshit ever, dude. Because we'll be, he'll be like, yeah, I had a bowl of cereal last night at 1:00 in the morning, and like at the time, like during this period you're talking about, I was probably like 18, 19 in the gym 6 days a week, like doing everything I can to try to gain some muscle. Can't gain muscle worth shit. And my dad's like 6-pack abs, freaking. Yeah, I ate a bowl of cereal at 2:00 in the morning last night. I'm like, dude, what?
Dude, I missed, and this is the thing I'm most proud of, probably. But out of a 7-year stretch, I only missed 8 days of working out.
Wow.
8 days out of a 7-year stretch. And the only thing that took me out of it was my own health. I mean, I was competing, like Mike said, and I was, some people had basically just told me that, man, you need to maybe get into physique competition for novice. And I was like, really? And I started looking at it, and somebody, a good friend of mine that I worked out with is like, dude, he goes, you really are pretty damn cut. You might do good in that competition. So I started training for it, and was getting to that point where you're going to start basically dehydrating yourself a little bit, and man, tore some really fine ligaments in my right shoulder, and took me out. And then I overcame that objective and started a year and a half later, kept going, and I'm talking about even through these injuries, y'all, I only missed 8 days. And I went back and started training again and got to where I was looking like, dude, I have more confidence than I did before. And my back, I had to have surgery on my back and stuff. And honestly, I haven't been back full bore back in the gym, but I've hit a milestone, over that 50 mark now, where I'm like, all right, now it's a necessity. Get your ass in the gym and start feeling better.
Yeah. And you got to, man. It really does. Like some days, I'm so busy, and you can find excuses on, not even excuses. You just actually can't go. I mean, you plan on going at whatever time you plan on going, and things come up throughout your day that are more important, like, picking your kids up from school on time.
Right.
You just can't go. Well, you just don't feel as good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You feel better when you are active, when you get your blood flowing, man. And it's just, there's really no excuse on why people don't do it.
Yeah.
It's not for muscles. It's not for, okay, who am I kidding? The muscles are definitely great.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But seriously, it's not all about that. It's about feeling good, and it's about your health.
Hey guys, we had a little bit of an audio issue right after we were talking about the gym, and we just went right into Mike's MMA career, and that's where we're picking it back up.
It's about, man, to use it as a platform for my organization and to give God the glory, man. But I do love it. I do love it as well. And it's going to be awesome. So I was fighting in Miami a few months ago, and I actually went down there for a championship fight, won the belt. It was awesome. There were some shenanigans, that happened in that fight. The opponent, he quit actually.
Wow.
Beating him up so bad. And that's not what I hope for, but that's what happened. But either way, I was able to speak on the microphone, man, with that belt over my shoulder. And I told God, hey, if you give me the opportunity to speak, I'm going to give you the glory. So belt on my shoulder, and this clip is on my social media. I said, let me tell you 2 things about the new champ. 1, I love Jesus. 2, I like kicking ass.
Yeah, I saw that, dude. It's so awesome.
I love Jesus, and I like to kick ass. We need to get shirts made.
And and not counting the fact you're sitting there and your kids got to watch you speak that. They were right by your side.
Yeah, yep, smiling. Yeah, you can't beat it. You can't beat it. That's what it's all about. Use those opportunities, not for yourself, but to invest in the next generation and for the people that are watching. That night felt great, but what still feels great right now is knowing, like what you just said, that my kids have that memory. Man, it's so good, so good. But yeah, it's cool, man. It's a cool lifestyle. It keeps you going, just like hunting and the strenuous duck hunts that you guys do, the terrain that you guys have to cover.
Mm-hmm.
It's a physical feat, man. Just like the elk hunters out west, you've got to have something that drives you and keeps you passionate. and keeps you working hard for those physical goals. And fighting is a big thing that does that for me. So I'll keep doing it until I can't anymore.
That's awesome, man. And what's kind of your goals with fighting? I mean, obviously you're in a good situation coming off that last fight, but like what, kind of is on the next, if you can talk about it, as far as what's your next on your agenda?
Yeah, well, my plan is take another fight here soon, probably in July, win it with a finish, a highlight finish, and then go pro. At that point, I'll be eligible to go pro. So if I get out there and, show what I'm capable of, get a highlight finish, I'll most likely be going pro this year at the end of the year, God willing. Obviously, health. If I stay healthy, he keeps me healthy. He blesses me with a victory. Boom, that's the goal. Win one more, go pro, and then I'll be on a bigger stage, doing exactly what I'm doing right now, man. And I'll be waving that Project Savior flag every step of the way. Wow. Every step of the way, man.
Well, Mike, there's no way, and I didn't even think about this, we talked about the outline and stuff like that, but there's no way that you don't know the whole story about Matt Hughes. I mean, there's no way. How much of an incredible fighter Matt Hughes was. We grew where I'm from, grew up in the same area, and the thing that he went through after his fighting career, I think he got hit by a train, overcame all of that, and the fact that guy's still alive is amazing. And it's really no different than a lot of the stuff that you and I talked about with our experiences.
Yeah. He's incredible, man. I watched all his highlights growing up.
One of the best comeback fights in history is Matt Hughes picking the guy up over his head and body slamming him on the other side of the ring, dude. It's one of the most incredible comeback stories ever. I mean, comeback fights ever.
Yeah, he was incredible. He was incredible. I've watched tons and tons of his videos late at night, trying to emulate the same things he does. He's just such a forward fighter, man. He uses his wrestling and his pressure to just beat you up and grind you down, and I like to do that same thing. But man, getting hit by a train and not just surviving. There's so many people that are living, but they're just waiting to die.
Mm-hmm.
He's not doing that, man. No. He was blessed to survive getting hit by a train, and he's using every minute of it to try to impact and encourage people, man. I always see that guy out in public, signing autographs and trying to speak the best that he can, at all the events. That's incredible, dude. To be able to keep on keeping on, bro, it's just unreal, man. And a lot of credit to him.
Yeah, for sure.
And man, that's what a crazy story with Matt Hughes. But I wanted to ask Mike, what did you, were you a wrestler in high school and college or anything like that? Like, where did you hear a lot of guys like, when you hear about how they got into MMA,
their entry point.
Yeah, they might have been a college wrestler, they might have been a kickboxer, whatever it might be. What kind of was your background, or when it comes to that kind of thing?
Yeah, I wrestled in high school, and then I went straight in the Marine Corps. And then when I was in the Marine Corps, they had a fight team on the base, so it was called Fight Club 29, and I would train with them. At that time, I was honestly training with guys now who are in the UFC that are absolute killers.
Wow.
And this was 10 years ago, and I was just a sparring dummy. I was just a guy that liked hitting the weights, that went in there because I liked to fight, and I was just a standing human punching bag for these dudes. Kyle Stewart, shout out to you. He's an absolute savage. He used to beat me up all the time. But I was a team player, and I wanted to help them as much as I could. So that's how I was, involved with fighting when I was in the Marine Corps at that time, when I first got to 29 Palms in California. And then I worked my way through the Marine Corps. They have a combatives program, which is the Marine Corps martial arts program. I worked my way all the way to the top of that. I got my black belt with my instructor trainer tab, where we actually ran the martial arts program for the entire base of 29 Palms, being a gunnery sergeant. We ran combat conditioning in the mountains, taught guys basic fundamentals of fighting, weapons retention, disarmament, your basic standing and striking, your basic and advanced jiu-jitsu techniques. So there was a lot of sparring. There was a lot of fighting and training throughout those 4 years. I get out and I get into jiu-jitsu. Work my way up, gi and no gi jiu-jitsu. I became a purple belt. And then I just started at that point getting into training with some guys who were fighters. And there was something different about those guys versus the guys who were just doing just jiu-jitsu by itself. And the jiu-jitsu by itself is amazing. It will absolutely change your life. But there was just a little fire inside of me that was asking me to go to the dark side. And the dark side.
Our partners at Huntwise are offering an exclusive discount for Zero Duck 30 followers. As an elite member, some of the features you'll immediately gain access to are Huntcast, Windcast, peak kill times, property lines, owner information and phone lookup, 250 map layers, unlimited offline maps, 3D maps, social media, and on top of it all, save up to 50% off some of the top hunting brands in the industry. Download and explore the #1 hunting tool set today and save 20% by using code DUCK30.
It's just adding, getting punched in the face with your jiu-jitsu. And my jiu-jitsu was good. I was winning some local tournaments in the advanced divisions and things like that. But there were still dudes that were wrecking me in the gym. And these guys were the fighters. They were just more explosive. They were just more tenacious. And they left me going home at night thinking, you ain't the man. Like, you are not the man. So I got involved with a local MMA gym where all of the Savages trained, all of them. Stephen Koslow, Preston Parsons, Trey Waters, Kuba Kazuba, Corey Taylor. All these guys are killers. Some of them in the UFC, some of them going to be in the UFC. And it changed my life, man. So that was like a year and a half ago or so. And I love those guys. The culture is similar to the military where you're in the trenches together and you're training, trying to, beat each other's ass and then loving on each other afterwards. So it's a great environment. And my wife supports me 100%, kind of.
Well, I see you give her a lot of credit, Mike, though. Several times I've seen you post stuff like, I couldn't do what I do without you.
Well, dude, she is, I don't want to make myself look bad, but she runs it. You know what I mean? She freaking runs it. And she's amazing. And that's the truth. I couldn't do half, I couldn't do half of what I do if it wasn't for her. So her passion of being a mother and a wife for me to pursue what I want to pursue is next level. And what's really amazing about her is she still makes time to pursue the things that are important to her. She loves tennis and she's crushing it. She plays tennis multiple times per week. And man, literally
maybe she's thinking about hitting you.
Who says she doesn't? That's one thing about being a fighter, man. Half the time I walk around with black eyes and busted lips anyway. So who's gonna know?
Oh man, dude.
But no, she's for real. She's an amazing woman. I don't know how in the world the Lord blessed me with her, but thank you, God, for doing so.
Wow, man.
But yeah, she's a beast,
dude. I mean, I want to talk to you for the next 7 days in a row or something. I mean, we can just go on and on. And one thing I know for sure is that next time me and you go out in the blind or in the woods or anything else together, we're going to even have a deeper conversation, and especially about our journeys.
Testimonies.
Yeah. Testimonies and journeys. And just like, Tristan knows this, he's watched my actions speak louder than my words of promoting the outdoor sport, getting people into hunting. And I don't even need when I take somebody out, dude. I don't need to kill anything. I just need to see them have some success, anymore. And you're doing the same thing, but with such a deep godly background and promoting God in the biggest way, and it humbles me, Mike. And it makes me think that I can do a little bit more. Thank you.
Good, bro. Good. Yeah, do it.
Yep.
If that's what you feel called to do it, man. You've got so many opportunities and special skills and abilities, and you've got the personality, dude, to make a huge impact. And you already do. But if you feel like you can do more, you can do more.
Yep.
That goes for any of us.
That's right.
And you guys, man, every time I hear you guys on a podcast or when you guys are talking to each other, you guys have so much energy, man, and you're such an influence and a father and son leadership team that is just freaking incredible. And you guys have hearts of gold, man. You're not afraid to enjoy some Busch Light.
Yep. That's right.
And have a good time. And you guys, absolutely incredible. And I definitely want to plan something soon. So whether you guys get here and we go, catch some alligators, or you guys feel apt and gracious enough to invite me on an Illinois deer hunt,
Yep.
we can do that too, to your secret spot. But I promise I won't tell anybody when I get back. I swear.
Well,
I swear.
If you've listened to us before, as you guys know, I will call myself a little bit of an Illinois expert on public land, and I do know some good spots. So anyway, but we'd love to share that with you, man. And dude, before we get out of here tonight, man, where can everybody follow your journey on social media channels? And of course, the podcast is going to be coming out. So just, man, promote what you're doing right now, Mike.
Okay, so ProjectSaviorOutdoors.org is our website. ProjectSaviorOutdoors.org. ProjectSaviorOutdoors.org is where you can go and donate. If you feel apt to donate, we're very appreciative of that. Prayers are also appreciated, man. Those are most important than anything. On social media, Facebook, Project Savior Outdoors, and Instagram at Project Savior Outdoors. My personal profile is Blue Collar Brawler.
I love it.
Man, hard work and fist fighting. You know what I mean? I get my hands dirty for a living, and we like to fight. So Blue Collar Brawler is where you can follow me on the personal side. And honestly, I want all attention to be geared towards the organization. You guys, please go support. It's going to be doing great things. All proceeds go to our mission, our veterans, funding them to have the gear they need to learn how to hunt and enjoy the outdoors, as well as taking vets on first-class hunting experiences. It's going to be huge here soon. We're going to have the Project Savior podcast. It's going to be called 22 Hours to Live. We're going to highlight so many veterans and their walks and journeys through life and their relationships with the Lord. It's going to be freaking awesome. If I can help you guys on the personal side, though, I give you my personal information. Reach out. I'm always willing to help in any way that I can. So please utilize that. And guys, I could literally talk to you all night long. I know we probably need to wrap it up, but let's do it again soon and pick some other stuff to talk about, like not myself.
Hey, that's all right. Well, then you have to ask us to be on the podcast.
Yeah. Well, that's when I host. Yeah, for sure.
Yes, sir.
But I'd love to be back on here, man, and let's talk. Let's maybe closer to deer season as we prep. Maybe you can edit this out, but we have an event coming up here in Jacksonville, May 20th. It's an archery shoot fundraiser.
Oh, great.
I saw
for
that.
the organization. Yeah, so you guys should come. I mean, that's completely offline, like for real. You guys should come. It's May 20th. I don't know who's going to show up, but it's going to be an archery shoot at the Southern Sportsman Outlet here in Jacksonville. And it's going to be awesome, man. We got food catered by Ember and Iron, and there's going to be awesome giveaways, dude. Like, we're going to have a raffle and or silent auction. We're going to have a JTS shotgun. We're going to have Vortex optics. We're going to have an angle cooler. We're going to have some really, really cool stuff. So come out, support, have a good time.
Man, I wish we
one
could.
of our
bro.
best friends. Go ahead, Tristan. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. No, Cade, our buddy out in Arkansas that owns Delta Thunder Outfitters, he's getting married May 20th. And so.
And we're both in the wedding.
We're in the wedding.
Yeah.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. Well, congratulations to him. Wedding's much more important.
But next year, though, we would love to be at that. You had me sold on Jacksonville and archery. We were like, we're there. And then
he and I both looked at each other and made this eyeball connect. That was like,
oh, dude.
We're there.
Well, hey, good news. We're going to be doing them quarterly.
Oh, perfect.
What? That is
so
awesome.
Yeah, we've actually partnered with Southern Sportsman Outlet here in Jax. So they're a huge sponsor of ours. So shout out to the Southern Sportsman Outlet here in Jacksonville. Thank you. They are a huge sponsor. They're taking care of us big time as an organization, more than just being a host for archery events. But we're going to be doing quarterly events there, as well as monthly shoots with our PSO crew, PSO listeners, everybody. So go to the Southern Sportsman Outlet. They've got everything, firearms, archery, the best bow selection in Jacksonville, outdoor gear, everything you can think of. And we're going to be doing a lot to benefit the Project Save Your Outdoors mission through them. So go support.
That's
That's
just
great
awesome.
stuff, man.
Mike, let's get it, dude. Let's get it, dude. Let's make it happen. And it's always a pleasure hunting with you, dude. I think about that one gadwall that we smoked that one day. You know, that was, dude. Mike just reached up and smoked this thing out of the heavens, and it was such a beautiful.
We both listen. Oh, here we go. We're gonna end on a humble note here.
Yeah.
We both shot that thing, and we didn't know who actually dropped it.
Yep.
But that was my first gadwall. So Tony was like, "No, it's your bird, man. No questions asked." I was thinking, if you're a duck hunter out there, you know dang well, if you and your buddy both shoot at the same time, you don't know that you killed that bird.
Yep.
But you're saying you did.
Yep.
Well, Tony is so freaking humble. The first thing out of his mouth was, "No way, that's your bird, dude. That is your bird." Like, and it made me just feel like at that time, okay, yeah, you're right, that's my bird. and there you go. That was my first gadwall. But I still, now that we're talking about it, think that you probably shot that bird.
Nah, dude, you did, no doubt about it. And again, it's always about the experiences, and that's a memory that you and I will have forever. And
for sure, dude. Or that teal that flew around at Mach speed that corner.
Dude, it did it as if it was on like a string on a center pole in the middle of our blind. Like you remember those balls that you used to be able to knock around, it swing around the pole that like spun around you?
Yeah.
That's what those teal did, dude. You remember? They did to this. Like,
bro, you drew that shotgun like a revolver, like from a Wild Wild West movie, dude, and you freaking dropped that thing. Oh man, it was awesome,
dude. Shot some beautiful. And if you guys jump on YouTube,
Yeah,
it's probably one of our. It's actually what blows my mind. It's one of our lowest viewed videos. But you talking about the most pretty birds you can see. We were just so fortunate to be veterans that the state of Florida had that time at the end of season that you even have a chance at a blue-winged teal that looks like that.
Yeah, it's funny to even think about this, but we literally have a YouTube video on our page with you and Mike doing that veteran hunt. So, yeah, y'all got to go check that out.
My goodness. I mean, it's not the best video footage in the world. It's not, but you'll have fun watching it. And if you're looking to shoot a beautiful blue-winged drake, I mean, me and Mike were in awe that morning, weren't we, Mike? I mean, I mean, Mike had to go pulverize one that I dropped. And he comes back, he goes like, "Bro," I go, "What?" And he goes, "Accidentally shot its leg off." He goes, "But I put the bead on, dude, just let him have it." And I was like, "We got the bird, come on."
yeah, man, he's down. It's all good. Oh, dude, yeah, such a good time. Yeah. I will say, bro, you guys and your passion and your consistency with duck hunting is amazing because, it is hard to stay consistent with duck hunting. It really is. I did it for 2 seasons pretty consistently, and it is a grind. It is a freaking grind.
I love the challenge, dude.
Respect to you guys, man, for sure. Oh yeah, for sure.
I love the challenge. I'm just like, come on, bring it, some bitch. And I'm just like, ain't no ducks gonna fly today. I'll see you in the morning. You know, I mean, it's the challenge
Stubborn.
of it. Yeah, I am, and dumb at times for sure.
Oh man, but it's so good, so good. There's stories from every single hunt, man. But
I can't wait for us to create more memories, and especially hear about all the things that you guys are doing to change people's lives. Thank you, Mike.
Yeah, appreciate you guys so much.
Thank you, Mike.
All right, we'll talk to y'all later.
I've been southbound, I've been hellbound, riding on a midnight train. Going too fast now, think I'll slow down, standing in the pouring rain.